Sketchbook, Jane McLaughlin. He says it is like Elysium, whatever that might be. City people come down in their carriages and go home with a bunch of bluebells or a basket of blackberries and think they have been in the country. But that is not the way he is. He walks here. He says he has been walking here ever since he was a little boy and came here with his father, through the lanes and the streams, looking for nuts and mushrooms and pretty stones, and fishing tadpoles out of the brook. And always he carries his book and his pens, stopping often to look and to draw. So when he comes to our gate, I give him not just a cup of water, but a handful of whatever is good at the time, a few sweet pea pods or raspberries. His delight is like a child. Well, he is little more than a child. 19, I think he told me. Last summer, when he passed, Father was sitting in the orchard reading to Sarah and Lily. He drew Father with his white beard, like a prophet, the girls kneeling either side of him. There was a house behind them, but it did not look like our cottage. He's not strong, looks thin and pale for a young man of his years, and he suffers with his lungs. Mother died when he was 13, he tells me. Poor little man. But he strides along when he comes here, gazing up and around all the time as he goes. And I would say he looks happy. I think I know what kind of house he lives in. I have passed them when I've been up to the market with John in the cart. Tall, sooty houses with fireplaces in every room. I do not go very often. Too much noise and dirt, bad smells and bad air, and the cobblestones shake my bones. So he walks down from the city, across the river, through Newington Butts, where they grow grapes in glass houses, and peaches for rich tables, and Walworth, and at last into our pretty streams and hills. In the market gardens and cornfields, the air is good. I fear for him in the winter, but he still comes, wearing a big greatcoat with heavy capes and still carrying his book and pens, still drawing. In summer, he draws the horse chestnut trees that grow like white and pink castles. Sometimes he shows his book to us. I do not know what to make of some of the drawings. They look scratchy and wild. I do not recognise the people or the places, or understand some of the ugly beasts and strange images. But I admire the ones of trees. He has studied the shape and character of each of them, as if he was drawing portraits of people. There are trees you can see if you walk around here, trees that I know, and some of the pages in his book have pretty sketches of leaves and branches. There are such fine trees in this place. I want to know them, how they live and change through the seasons. Now it is June, and we pick late into the evening, as long as the light lasts. Raspberries, strawberries, currants packed in baskets and boxes, fine lettuces and radishes, as much as we can gather, because this is the time of year when we can make money to save for the winter, when there'll be little more than cabbages and leeks. Past here, he's off again, sometimes back into the city, sometimes up through Peckham to Greenwich and the river. I tell him I think it must be very muddy and bare up there, but There are palaces along the banks and a great shining river and tall ships going into the quays at Deptford. I see it in my mind's eye. Mostly he comes on his own, but there is another man who comes along too, always drawing as well, and talking 20 to the dozen. And then there was an older man with a big head and staring blue eyes who said he has seen angels in the trees. Well, I have seen angels too. I saw them after little Charlie died of the scarlet fever 2 winters ago. Today, I see him coming along the lane in his brown hat and light coat. It is warm and bright, and the trees are full of their summer leaves. He asks after Father and John and the children. I tell him they are out in the fruit bushes. I'm moving to Kent very soon. The air will be better for my lungs. There are beautiful hills and woods there. But Dulwich will always be my first inspiration, where my eye first learnt to read the landscape and the way the day changes it from twilight to twilight. He takes a page from his book. It is the drawing of Father reading to the girls that he made last year. I thank him kindly. I can't read the writing on it. I will put it away to give to Sarah when she is older. Father never taught me to read, but I will make sure he teaches Sarah and Lily. I give him a bunch of radishes, red, yellow, white, purple, washed with fresh water from the pump. Again his face shows delight. Rainbow, sunset, he says, and puts them in his pocket. He walks away from the cottage. I watch him pass in and out of the light under the horse chestnut trees. Before he reaches the end of the lane, he stops and takes out his sketchbook. He is drawing a tree.